What's happening, everybody? Welcome to episode 1 of the Weekend Fix with me, that Ross fella, and today I'm joined by a lifelong friend of mine, lifelong Manchester United fan. Taylor's just going to explain a little bit on a health condition he's grew up his whole life with. So enjoy the video. I hope you like, and drop a subscription down below underneath my name and enjoy the video. Taylor's just going to explain a little bit now on the health condition he's dealt with his whole life and what was like growing up. So he's just going to explain what it is and what was like growing up on it. So take it away.
Right, basically I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease, which is a form of IBD, that's inflammatory bowel disease. It's an autoimmune condition that affects your entire digestive system from mouth to the other end. And there's two forms of IBD, one being Crohn's and the other being ulcerative colitis. Crohn's disease is the most severe because it affects the entire digestive system, and ulcerative colitis only affects the colon itself. So therefore, if you have surgery, that's kind of like your problems gone. Well, not all your problems, but for the most part, like. But unfortunately, I was dealt with the worst cards that I could have possibly been dealt with. If you don't even have a problem, you're gonna get sick. That's just life.
It'll happen everywhere.
But unfortunately, obviously, I grew up with a lot of friends, and they never known about my health condition until like last year, probably even less than that. You know what I mean? But basically, I was diagnosed at the age of 5 with Crohn's disease, and before diagnosis, my mum brought me to loads of specialists and different types of private hospitals and all to get me diagnosis, because she hadn't got a clue what was wrong. You know what I mean? Basically it started out just a rash at the mouth, like, and that was before my communion, so my mum wanted me looking my best and all, and it wasn't happening for her. She was trying to cover it with makeup and all, and there was no change whatsoever. But anyways, we got referred to a dentist on the south side, and when we got in, then we met with your man at the gate, and he was asking about my symptoms and what I was going through, and he's seeing the rash obviously, so he automatically just pointed at Crohn's and said that I'm going to refer you to Crumlin, and you're going to meet with doctors blah 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 and get testing done. So we did. We got to Crumlin then, and walking in the door at 5 years of age into a hospital that's basically based around very, very extremely sick kids, like, you know what I mean? So walking in there was traumatizing in itself, like, for me. So having to drink this mad concrete thick drinks and all just to see me insides clear, you know, that type of way, and being through all these mad tests. And I don't know if you ever heard of an enema, but it's fucking vulgar, bro.
No, not from the top
basically,
of my head, bro, no.
It's like a detox, bro, that clears out your entire system, and it's like a water solution mixed with something, and that's like up you, like, and it's flushing you out, you know what I mean? And then going to the toilet after that to let it all come out, all sobbing in the toilet with my man. It was just traumatizing, as I said, like, and then getting the diagnosis, I got put on the medication. The medication itself was like for leukemia patients and cancer patients, so it was just very severe, and obviously for my mum and dad as well, that obviously would have
big
been
effect on them.
fucking toxic. I can imagine like having a child myself, what that would feel like, you know what I mean? So anyways, I was put on these type of medications, steroids that made my face just proper blow out and all, and I never really looked well, but I fucking wish. But anyways, like, because my disability isn't visible, like, nobody around me, even family, if I knew what I was actually going through, they only had an idea, do you know what I mean? So even myself growing up and being on all this medication, I really never understood until I was like 17, 18, really fully, like. So anyways, there was trial and error with all these different types of meds, tablets, steroids, injections, and being hooked up to an IV, an IV drip once every month, sitting in a room with people that are like the guts of 80, and you know what I mean? Like, it's toxic being in that situation, sitting there, being a young person and saying, so what the fuck, what's going on with me? Do you know what I mean? Why does it have to be me that's going through this? And anyways, like, trial and error with all these different types of medications, and growing up, like, around Sharava was never easy. Like, obviously I was trying to keep up with my friends and going out playing and what have you, going on cycles, but I'd always have to come back on my own, do you know what I mean? I'd have to cycle back after about 20 minutes, probably sometimes even less than that. sometimes I'd go to the toilet late to door and I'd have to go back in, do you know what I mean? But obviously my friends never understood, my man and dad really never understood fully, like, because it's impossible. That's what I say to my girlfriend all the time, like, you're not going to understand, you have to go through it, do you know what I mean? But
yeah, of course, it's a lot.
now they do their best to understand me, but
they're there for you, you know.
Yeah, exactly, and I'm fucking lucky with that as well. I'm blessed with having the family that I do, because they have helped me through an awful lot, and like, things could be fucking worse, like, but yeah, growing up in that area, it was hard, especially like going far with your friends and that, and they never understood. And anyways, look, I never told them anyways, because
he's gone missing again. They the thought, you know.
We'd be playing chasing and I'd just ditch and where I'm going.
Hide and seek champion.
Never found, bro. Never fucking found. I'd be in the gaff on the toilet for around 2 hours. Anyways, being on this mad medication, and the doctors that I had as well as that, they never held me in front of them. They'd always speak against having a bag and having surgery. I'd be terrified, like, and being in such pain, like, I'd have severe abdominal pain, chronic fatigue, which is basically like the goods carrying around about 400 pounds person on your back, like 24/7, and it never got easier. It always just worsened. Like, I'd wake up sometimes and I'd be in the bed for about fucking 3 days. I wouldn't be able to move.
Jeez,
One time, Katie sent me up the shop to get bleeding roads. I ended up collapsing in this bar in the Strand, like, and it was very embarrassing, obviously, because nobody around you is knowing what the fuck's going on.
It's not visible to anybody. They just think, oh, look.
But yeah, they were trying to ring ambulances and all for me, but it was very bad. I ended up ordering a roll, and I forgot I even left it there, do you know what I mean? I was going to pay with nothing in my hands, like, I ended up bleeding, collapsing there, and it was just all went downhill basically since I was diagnosed. There was never
any positives to take out.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was trying to always make positive of what I had, the situation, obviously, but it was extremely hard because there wasn't fucking many, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But basically then, fucking, with the doctors, and they told me that if we ever got the bag, that'd be the worst thing, and that it was the last thing I'd want. Obviously, it just scared me into having that done. But moving from Crumlin to the Mater, then my doctors were completely different, you know what I mean? They were actually very supportive, and my IBD nurse in general that was there, she was very good, you know what I mean? She always helped me with anything I ever needed. They were always in close contact as well, so it made things a lot easier. I then started to see positives rather than always have a negative, you know what I mean? Yeah. I always knew that if I had an issue, that I'd be only a stone throw away, do you know what I mean? Going to the hospital and sort myself out. But basically, growing up was hard. It was very rough, especially in Dublin. Like, as you know, kids they're not gonna like have any sympathy for it, you know what I mean? They throw slaggins at you and that. But anyways, in school, it was proxy. The only thing I was grateful for in school was having the distraction of my friends. As you know, Eric, Nico and all, everybody just always had me constantly laughing. Like, I'd always be distracted. But even at the times where I wasn't and I'd asked to go to the toilet, like, you're not going to want to walk into the bleeding school toilets, but as you know yourself, there's everything thrown over the wall, shoe splattered to the wall there, you know what I mean? A very bad old toilet, don't want to go in there. Like, and even if you did go in for a bleeding shoe, people are fucking around you on different stalls looking over, taking pictures, man. I know all that, like, they're going to do that, but they never knew, and I never told them, as you would. But like, in school, it was extremely hard. The teachers never helped, and my main tutor was actually told by my mum my condition. She never gave a fuck. Like, I'd always ask her to go to the toilet, and no chance. She hated me as well as that, you know what I mean? Like, school teachers, obviously, they're not from the area, and they think that they're higher, you know what I mean? They look down on you and all that, like. But
the use of power.
Bro, that's it. They think they're being guarded, you know? But basically, going out on lunches and all, I'd always eat the wrong stuff. Now, I never had a clue about health and what to eat and what not to eat with my condition. All I knew basically was to kind of stay away from fibre. But even with saying that, I never knew I had fibre. You know what I mean?
You didn't read the information on it anyway.
No, but I'd be going out and I'd be eating spicy chicken fillet rolls and wedgies and all that type of stuff, and I'd be killing myself sitting there in the class dying, pretending that like nothing was going on, do you know what I mean? I'd be sitting there with a fake smile on my face, just suffering, like. But my friends just got me through school, and then after school, then things started to get more serious because I didn't have that distraction there, you know what I mean? I was sitting at home and I was basically afraid to go out. Like I wouldn't spend a lot of time with my friends because I'd go
going
out.
back full
Yeah,
well,
well, you know what I mean? I'd go out and I'd be back in and they'd be like, where are you going all day again? Do you know what I mean? Haven't seen you in fucking age, but little did he know what was going on behind closed doors, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As I started to get older, obviously the condition itself started to worsen, and I was admitted into hospital plenty of times, sometimes for days end on, and I'd be just mentally depressed, you know what I mean? Like being at home as well being at home as well and being on the toilet for 2 hours at a time, just sobbing in pain, and it was just extremely hard. Like I was always very down on myself, and that obviously never helped because one of the main triggers of actual Crohn's disease and the main causes of disease getting worse is stress. Like if I stress enough, like obviously there's a slim chance of flaring. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, being in flares, and if you're in a flare as well, then you can only eat a certain type of food. Like I'd have to stick with chicken or bread. No them types of food. If I ate anything spicy, then that'd be the end of that. You know what I mean? I was always very pale, and like I'll give you a story. Right, I was collecting like years ago. Right, we went down the park and getting tours, as you know, we got caught by the guard. We were standing there, right, all in a line. You were taking names, going through all my mates, and I was the last one. And the cop got to me and said, "Jesus Christ, you're like a bleeding ghost. What's wrong with you? You always like that." I was like, "Oh hell, what's going on here?" But yeah, like I was always extremely pale, and along with what came with the disease itself was anemia. So I'm anemic as well. That means like my iron levels are always dropping low. Do you know what I mean? I lost so much blood going to the toilet. It was just coming out of all ends from getting sick to going to the toilet, from blood coming out of all ends at that as well. It's just constant weight loss all the time. You know what I mean? I'd be trying to eat like 3,500 calories a day of the wrong food, and even if I was eating the right food, there was no right food at that time. Do you know what I mean? Regardless if it was the healthiest diet, you know what I mean? Yeah. It was always the same fucking ending. And at that then I got older, obviously moved to the matter, got helped with doctors that were actually very understanding and put me on to medication, but sadly the medication never worked. It was always just trial and error, and I'd be on drips and self-injections. And when I moved to the self-injections, they were actually the best thing because it worked for a few months. I'd feel a little bit better, but it was never actually like normal, if you get me, like what even is normal. But I never felt, there was never a day where I didn't have any pain, and it wouldn't be just like moderate pain or slightly, it was always excruciating pain, do you know what I mean? Like how I got through it, I don't really know, but yeah, when I started off on the self-injections, then they sent a nurse out to the house and she was showing me how to do it. She was loading me with a starting dose, and unfortunately it wasn't just the one in and you're gone. Like it was like 4 or 5, and I was standing up, and what made it worse, right, she had a trainee with her and she was letting the trainee do it. The first one she done was actually wrong. It fucking stung like fuck, right? And I was nearly collapsing and all standing there. But anyways, the side effects that came along with that medication was fucking horrible. Like this is not just ordinary meds. This was meds to help cancer patients and leukemia and all. And it was just very hard. But now them self-injections, they were actually working all right for a little while, and then just boom, straight back down to square one. Like, you know what I mean? I was convinced that it was never ever going to change. I was scared going to the doctors because of what they could have told me. Would it get worse? Would it get better? I never knew. I always lied to me. Doctors even going there. I was like, yeah, I feel grand, but I didn't. Dying, like basically slowly fucking dying. And there's been plenty of times I was on death's door as well. But in saying that, I made the decision then, obviously years down the line, to have the surgery done. And the main reason why I had that surgery done was for my son. Like getting older, I needed to keep up with him, do you know what I mean? So I needed to make some sort of decision to help me. There was only one medication left for me to try out of all meds that actually
could have done something. Is there many meds?
The one I was on were, well, the self-injections, well, going back, right, I was taking a tablet, Imaran. And before I could take that tablet form, obviously because I was diagnosed at such a young age, that was given to me in like a fluid, like, you know what I mean, like Calpol through a syringe. Like. So when I got that bit older, I moved on to the tablet form that was stronger, along with steroids as well. So I was just constantly in bits, but the steroids was the only thing that was kind of giving me an appetite, you know what I mean? I was always sitting down and eating my dinner, and I'd fucking pick at it, like, and my mum was like, why are you not eating that, do you know what I mean? But little did they know, with the pain was just stopping me, do you know what I mean? I was having no appetite whatsoever and all, like. But yeah, then after that, it was moved on to drip. It was called Remicade, and then I basically had to sit in a room once a month on these chairs. It was basically like for a room chemotherapy, you know, that type of room, sitting around old people and being there for an hour waiting on the back, the whole drip to go down. And sometimes I had to get 2 bags, and then if that wasn't enough, if my urine levels were low, I'd have to get a blood transfusion and urine transfusions and all that. And even it was just so scary, like very fucking scary. Now, a lot of people just associate this disease with older people, like people that are like 80, but little do they know it can happen at any fucking stage of life. You know what I mean?
Example of that. How old did you say you were?
Five, you know what I mean? Like, I know people who are 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, like young people, you know what I mean? And it just hits them and it knocks you back completely. Now, I'm blessed in the sense that I got it when I was young, so I never really knew any different. But for a person that's getting it, that's like 20, you know what I mean? They think that they have the whole life ahead of them, that they can do this and do that, and little do they know that it's going to be hit by a fucking truck and set back, you know what I mean? And life, it would be completely fucking different then. But yeah, being on the Remicade, that drip and all, just that in itself was just mentally depressing, sitting in that room and all. And then I was moved to the self-injections. Obviously I was onto the first one, Humira it was called, and that started out good as well. That was less painful than the other one I was moved on to afterwards, but it didn't have a good effect, you know what I mean? So when I moved on to the Stellara, then that was like, see, the Humira was like a pen, right? And you wouldn't see the needle at all, and so you just put it here and click it and that'd be that. But the Stellara itself was like a proper needle, long yoke, very scary looking at it, like. Being on that then, that helped for a little while, and then it just went straight downhill again, and my inflammation was rising, and I was just struggling to fucking cope with everything. Like, every day was a bloody misery. Like, I'd never have a good fucking day, and even if I did have a good fucking day, it was awful, you know what I mean? My family obviously tried to understand, but they tried to understand their best. But it's just IBD in general, it's just too much to handle for a person that hasn't got it, you know what I mean? Like, you have to actually be in the shoes of that person. But actually there is an app that you can get. I forget the name of it, but there is an app that you can get. So say if your family member does actually suffer with this illness, like, you can get an app that like I used to wake up about 5 or 6 times a night, going to the toilet, getting sick or what have you, right? And this app, basically, if you use it, it wakes you up during the night. So it gives you that sense of what that person is going through, you know what I mean? It comes up in your phone, a notification, you have to go to the toilet now, you got sick, you're in town or something, you just shit yourself, you have to go home, you know what I mean? Like that type of thing. But it's just like, that app was created just to give people an insight of what it was like, you know what I mean?
You send me the app and I'll put it in the comments.
Oh bro, it's hefty. Honestly, like, it's gonna probably knock your routine back. But anyways, moving on to the matter, the doctors themselves were very understanding. I was blessed to move there. Then we talked about surgery. I was researching about it on Instagram and YouTube, and I seen this person, he had like 10 episodes or so going through the surgery and what it was like and the build up to it and all. And now this fellow was like 40 kilo, around that anyways, like basically like a stick coming out of the surgery, and he showed like a video 9 months after, and he gained like 30 kg or something, and he was like a house basically, you know, after that. So that was a big push for me to go for that then, because I heard a lot of people talking about having the surgery and then their symptoms completely dropping, which isn't always the case for everybody that has the surgery. Sometimes you're coming out and you still have to go on the medication, but luckily for me, I somehow managed to dodge that, and I feel healthy and I don't have any symptoms, and I can live life the way I want it, you know what I mean?
Of course, that's the main thing.
And before that then, I was always interested in training and personal training, you know, like that, being fit. I used to always go to gym. I started a PT course, and that was great. That was a big learning experience for myself, especially being trained by someone around your area, you know what I mean?
Really just to touch on personal training, just for everybody watching, like, I can't recommend that enough, me personally as well. And like yourself, you learn everything. We were in bed done at the same time. I haven't got a breeze what I was doing.
Yeah.
Going to the
That's
gym
the
with a
thing,
few
yeah.
of the boys that have done the gym for a few months, but I've never been there. And I'm going and doing a shoulder exercise along with a leg exercise. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. And I didn't understand what a gym split was.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was different ways of using the same, like say bar or machine. There's different ways of using them. I haven't got a brace. And only for I got personal training, I'd never know any of that, you know what I mean? I was clueless. Now obviously Google can be your best friend. And I have people around me that can teach me everything now. Like I've learned everything I know from the people around me at the minute. But I can't recommend personal training enough because that's where you learn every single thing you need to know about the gym. And how did you find personal training when you first went?
I've just found it amazing, like having a personal trainer who's obviously reliable from the same area, and as well as that I started with Eric, who was one of my closest friends, and the two of us were always buzzing off each other, having a laugh.
So it makes it enjoyable.
The thing with me and Eric as well, when we started, we were pushing ourselves so much to do better, do you know what I mean? We learned a lot from him as well, like. But the first day of personal training, we were told by the trainer that we were going to end up getting sick and that. Like he stuck to his
I know the feeling.
He looped everywhere. Like the same thing happened, Eric. But like all around you is people that are from the same area. Now this is TNDO. Great gym. Cannot recommend it enough. There's so many good people in there, trainers as well. Like that just help you. I've learned so much from that, and I still take the knowledge that I learned that day from. I still take knowledge from day to day, do you know what I mean? Like I do the exact same kind of split really. But basically being in different types of gyms, as you said, we are in Ben Dunn, and that Ben Dunn gym was a nightmare for me because although it was good to have the distraction of your friends being there as well, but the disability toilet was always closed. It was always a nightmare, do you know what I mean? And any time I'd go down and ask them to open it now, they didn't see me disability, you know what I mean? It's invisible.
Not visible, so you don't have one basically.
Exactly, to them I don't have one. So there was no reason for me to use the toilet, and if you remember what the toilets were like in the Ben Dunn, the actual normal toilets, like there was no fucking ceiling above you literally
the gap as well, the gap in the toilet.
And at the time, bro, when I go to the toilet back then, I go, like, you know what I mean, mostly gas, and it was fucking awful, like, you'd have to stop yourself and all, and it was just it was very bad basically. So moving to the gym that I'm in now, I only joined like last year. That's Flyfin Mackin Street, and that has been a godsend for me. In terms of having 2 disability toilets right at your disposal whenever you need to use, you know what I mean? The locked door, big room, you're not going to hear nothing. So we could go in there and do what I had to do, and that was just a turning point for me basically. And with that being said, like on Instagram, there's plenty of people that are raising awareness around IBD, so that kind of fucking motivated me to make my own page, because it's not happening in Ireland, you know what I mean? It's not happening in Dublin even. Like,
you want to take that step.
Exactly. You take that step and fucking raise a bit of awareness and show people that it's mainstream. It doesn't have to be stigmatised, you know what I mean? It's normal nowadays. Like, it's not only for fucking elderly people, you know what I mean? Like, people of today, obviously the society that we live in is so fucked up, do you know what I mean? Everything is about toxic, social media and what have you. Like,
toxic.
Yeah, very fucking toxic, and especially like the area that we live in. Also, there's great people, don't get me wrong, a lot of great people with great goals and intentions, but there's a lot of toxic people in this area. Like, but that gym practically saved me. Like, and on Instagram we started to see people from England doing personal training with other people that had disabilities, like invisible illnesses. So that kind of spurred me on, that motivated me, because I all my life, well not all my life, but the past few years I've loved the idea of becoming a personal trainer. I love the idea of health and knowing what to eat and what not to eat.
And how do you feel now with working out, like after your operation? Like what ways it make you feel now?
Oh, it's a godsend. Like, I can enjoy every session with it. I'm in the gym for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, or what have you. I'm in there and I'm enjoying it. I'm able to do everything. You know what I mean? No anxiety. Whereas I used to walk in and I'd be struggling mentally, thinking, where the fuck is the next toilet? You know what I mean? What am I gonna do? I used to go in and have to leave sessions half an hour early. I used to not be able to make sessions. I used to be walking towards doing personal training, and sometimes I'd have to turn back and schedule it for a different day. You know what I mean? That's how drastic things got. Like, there was never a good day, you know what I mean, for myself, and I'd be always waking up during the night, going to the toilet, getting sick, losing weight drastically, just struggling in general. Like, I was always the skinny kid in the group, you know what I mean? And I know, like, there is people that are skinny, but when you looked at me, you know yourself, look, I was majorly skinny, do you know what I mean? It wasn't just like your ordinary skinny person. Like, it just looked like the life was just sucked down me constantly, you know what I mean? And I'm thankful for the friends that I do have now, as well as I did have then, for distracting me, you know what I mean? Always having a good laugh and being able to fucking get on good with them. And basically now, from then going into the gym now, I'm just anxiety free. I can go out and do whatever the fuck I want, you know what I mean? And just enjoy life, and especially for my son as well, growing up, I need to be able to keep up with him, you know what I mean? Because he's not obviously going to understand what I have, you know what I mean? So I need to just basically roll with the punches, and having that surgery then was a big turning point in my life. Obviously, having abdominal surgery, it was done laparoscopically, so there was no scars, or they didn't have to open me up. In some cases they do, like, and then if that had been done, if I had been opened up, I would have had to wait 6 months after then to get back into working out and all. So thankfully I didn't, and there's no scars, and I just had my stomach, and that's it, you know what I mean? So being dealt a hand at struggling with abdominal pain, cramps, and fucking going to the toilet 15 times plus daily, struggling mentally or brain fog. Basically, this is the thing where I could go into the kitchen to fill up a glass of water, I'd get to the kitchen and I forget what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? My head was always like a safe, bro, and it's still like that to this day. I can't do what I'm doing, you know what I mean? All I could do was just fuck it. But anyways, fucking muscle soreness, joint pain, having to deal with all these mad symptoms, and a lot of other symptoms came from the medication itself. So then you have that on one hand, and on the other you have just being able to change your bag. That's it. That's the only thing we have to deal with now. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you can get the odd leak, but the bags that I use now always keep me going for like 3 to 4 days and no leak whatsoever. Maybe to go out, live my life, go as far as I want and not have any complaints, you know what I mean? Like, I used to go away, actually, we go away to a hot place like Spain or so, yeah, and I'd always have to stay in the shade. Family obviously wanted to go on long walks, you know, just float around the beach and what have you, and I'd always go out and have to go back, you know what I mean? And it's very, very rough now. We went to Florida there for the first time. I've been to Florida twice. The first time we got to Florida, my cousin on the plane, she didn't realise, obviously she had a bug. Now see, when a normal person gets a bug, it lasts a few days or whatever, you'd be grand to get the minor symptoms. But see, with someone with IBD or a chronic illness gets a bug, obviously because my immune system is so low, the symptoms are like, I'd be sitting there rattling teeth, shake, like you're just shaking basically. You'd be getting all these mad symptoms, and it'd last for about 2 weeks or so. So yeah, when we went to Florida, that happened. I ended up being sick, and I wasn't able to leave the hotel room for a few days, and I'd have to wait for that to blow over. And even when the bug itself did blow over, there was no improvement, you know what I mean? I'd be going out to fucking 35 degrees heat, you know what I mean? Sun beaming on you, and you'd be just proper weak. But I was always trying to put on a brave smile, you know what I mean? And not be one to complain, because with this type of illness, it's constant, you know what I mean? You don't get a break, and you always feel like you're the bored, you know what I mean? So I never wanted to put any problems or issues on my family, so I just tried to fucking just roll with it basically. And my little brother was scourging me to go on this big roller coaster, so I said fuck it, I'll go on it. Another one, Kevin Hart got on it in Universal, the Red Rocket though. I swear to God, I got on it. It was the best thing ever, and as soon as I got off, I just felt like I was ready to just drop. Like the adrenaline that sets in your body and all, it's just crazy. Like, but I had to try it, and in all fairness, I had to, because it was one of the, I thought it was going to be the only opportunity I ever got to go on something like that. So I said fuck it, I might as well. Anyways, but that just spoiled me down with the mad sickness. And when I got back from that hospital, then my mum was saying, "Oh no, we're never going there again." Do you know what I mean? You can't handle this and you can't handle that. So that, hearing that mentally was fucked. You know what I mean? Because America is obviously this place that everybody wants to go to. Do you know what I mean? So like comparing that now to every day now, waking up, it's a breath of fresh air. Like, I'm waking up with no problems, and obviously I don't know if that's going to continue forever, because with Crohn's, like, even now after having surgery, some symptoms can still come back, but it's the going out and not having the anxiety there that I'll always be proud to have. Do you know what I mean? Even if I'm getting back onto medication, or if I have all this chronic fatigue and that, I'll still always be able to go out and not have to worry about the toilet and all. And going out before surgery, we decided to go to Wetherspoons and Dunleary, me and my girlfriend and her friends and the baby, on a little day out, like. And for me to go that far was very odd. It wouldn't happen. It wouldn't happen very often. Anyways, we went out, had a meal, paid a lot. You know, it's door cheap. We paid a lot for the food and that. after the meal, obviously I had to go in the toilet. I went into the disability toilet, asked for the keys at the bar, that was no problem. Got in the door for about 2 minutes or so, and then the manager started banging on the door, not just knocking and saying hello, who's in there, banging on the door, right? So I had to go up, struggling there as it is, sitting there in pain, like not even being able to go, getting up and then being told that you shouldn't be in there, you don't have a disability, blah blah blah, and this is only for disability and elderly people and all. And she was saying to me that was in there the past 15-20 minutes, and I know all this shit. But anyways, before I left to actually go there, there's one of these little cards you can get to show that you have a disability or an invisible illness that you need to use toilets and so on. So I said to myself, no, I'm not paid spending this much money on that just to prove that I have something wrong with me, you know, because you shouldn't have to do that.
You shouldn't have to prove, yeah.
But
exactly.
Anyways, there was
shame
more,
on them.
yeah,
shame
there
on
was
them.
fucking murder in that restaurant, anyways, and we ended up having to leave, and it was just toxic, like.
Yeah, so, bro, yeah.
But yeah, like the difference in the life that I have now compared to that I had then, it's so drastic, like, you know what I mean? Mentally, physically, I'm able to look after myself, and I've been to a lot of dietitians.
What's your biggest goal?
My biggest goal now is to become a qualified personal trainer. That's in motion now in the next few weeks, and hopefully I'll get that done by the end of the year, and I'll go from there basically. So with me having this condition, obviously I'm kind of forced into knowing about health, you know what I mean? I'm forced into knowing that type of stuff. So I know what to eat and what not to eat, what's good and what's not good. Like I wouldn't eat Subway, I wouldn't eat McDonald's, I wouldn't eat any sweets or chocolate. Chocolate is one of my biggest triggers now, even after having that surgery. Like it sends the output just liquid and it's crazy. Your body might change and all that. But so just stay away from that type of stuff, and I'm at the stage now where it doesn't bother me. Like if we look at a McDonald's now, it wouldn't bother me in the slightest. You know what I mean?
What is your diet like? Just to touch on that before we finish.
My diet now, I'd wake up and I don't know if you ever heard of Seven Wonders. Seven Wonders is like a happy place, bro. I'd be going there and I'd be getting everything out there. The Buenos Dias, the scrambled egg and the Aztec Energy. Now I'm mad into all that healthy stuff. Now this that Aztec Energy has like the likes of kale, spinach, avocado, orange mango. All this good stuff that your body needs, and it's hard to get in at some points, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so, some of it's hard to eat as well.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Yeah, having that in liquid form is fucking, it's
lovely. Yeah.
Now don't get me wrong, I tried to do it at home plenty of times, and it was always a failure. It was always lumpy, and it was never the way that they done it.
I could never make the right smoothie myself.
Never. But see, as well as that, look, there's loads of places near me where we live now. You have Bucket around the corner, you have Seven Wonders. They're my go-to places now, and even with the Mad Egg Cafe, you know that place there, they do banging stuff like all big healthy foods, and they're the go-tos now. Getting to the stage now where Katie always wants to order at McDonald's. You know, there's nothing wrong with her. She loves to go to McDonald's, but I'd be always in the hype and like, no, you're not ordering McDonald's. We'll get this. You know what I mean? To me, I know that's fake calories. You know what I mean? You eat that and just. Yeah. It's just gonna
and bad calories.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know what I mean? Like
fuck all.
A burger alone. And
you know what I mean? It's crazy. I believe 1,500 calories. You can set the chips on a night, bro. You can set the chips on a blaze. I seen some fella that left the fucking left his burger in the drawer for about a year or something. Came back though. The thing was in the same condition as he was when he left it. That just goes to show, bro. It's proper toxic food. But yeah, anyways, doing the fitness course and the fuss is actually in Shadowbot, and it's getting knocked down now, I think, or else changed into a crash. But that fuss basically set in stone in my mind that this is what I want to do, you know what I mean? I had a great tutor there, I had great friends there as well, and the course itself was great. It learned me about all the muscles in the body and all this type of stuff. Now obviously when a person hears about a PT course, they're obviously just going to be thinking it's just working out, exercise and all that. But it's not, there's a lot more to it. A lot more fucking to it. Like you have to learn about every individual muscles and how to do this and how not to do this and form and all that type of stuff.
What works with each muscle.
Yeah, exactly. Like
the science behind your muscles and everything that goes into that. Yeah. So that's the goal. Good man, right? So I hope you enjoy listening to Taylor's health journey. We're gonna go straight into the football stuff. Right, everybody, few questions on football and Manchester United for Taylor. We're going to speak a little bit about the rivalry between Liverpool and United, everything that's gone on over the past season, and everything about United's board, the rivalry between us, obviously, as I said, the people involved with Manchester United, the owners of Manchester United, what he thinks is going to happen for the season. So we're just going to get straight into it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the progress of United over the past few years.
Post Fergie, obviously, you know, David Moyes.
Like,
and
he
Van
got
Gaal.
6 months out, you know. Do you think it was a mistake
No.
looking back on it?
No. It was a mistake that he was appointed in the first place, bro.
Yeah.
The reason being the club was way too big for him. He's a mid-table manager, and obviously he had a great career with everything and that, and you see him doing good now, having West Ham fourth on the table, like, and they're bleeding flying along. But I don't know if you ever heard Rio's autobiography and the changes that he made, bro. But basically, he stopped like the littlest things. They weren't even allowed to have chips in the morning and all that, lunches and all. I don't know why that's even in his book, but they were snapping about that, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
And the way he trains as well, he's basically like he trains players like the way the military do. You know what I mean? Like, it was with David Moyes. I just think from the day that he was appointed, the job was just too much for him. He couldn't handle it. And with United, obviously they're in the media every single day, and it's always negative, regardless of how well they're doing. You know what I mean? So with him, it was disastrous. The football, there was obviously we have this certain way of playing the philosophy at United. It's just attack, that type of football. It just wasn't like. He was trying to sign all these world-class players, and it never happened. Like, obviously he's using that as his defence, you know what I mean? That he had Ramos lined up and all these players and all. Like, you can't see Ramos fucking playing for fucking David Moyes. I just think from day one it was an absolute disaster. The football wasn't right in the dressing room. It wasn't right, and hearing from the previous players that played, everything just wasn't right. His methods, his ideas were just old. They were too old for our style of play, and it basically just brought the club to a standstill, and nobody was happy. Well, this is from reading on fucking the news and all. I'm not bleeding saying that I'm fucking in the club, in Carrington.
You know everything about
looking from the outside perspective and reading about it and all, and what the old players had to say about it and all. Like, obviously he's a good manager, he's doing well now, but that job was just way too big, and I don't know what Fergie was thinking even appointing him. Just because he's Scottish, I don't know. But
that's probably it.
Basically, after him, then we all thought we had a little Lord and Saviour, and Van Gaal coming. Obviously, you're seeing him doing great with the Netherlands. He had a good philosophy and all, but at United, it was just.
Well, I've heard nothing but good things about Van Gaal, though, you know.
Don't get me wrong. That fella's mad, bro. He's fucking crazy, and even the players that were under him now still actually speak highly of him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I've heard nothing but good things about him.
He had great ideas, and I just think, like, not from day one, but we are doing well, especially in pre-season. We were whipping teams and all. The play was great. It was just tick-a-tack, quick football and what have you. But then when the season started, it was just fucking side to side, backwards passes. I think we actually broke the record that season for most back passes to the goalkeeper and all. Like, just very fucking bad football. And then it was the case where the media just got to him, bro. The media absolutely broke that man, and he didn't think that he was losing his job, and he just got the axe there and then. Even after winning the fucking FA Cup, like, he just got his job was just dismantled, like. But looking at Van Gaal, obviously we thought that we are gonna we did improve in some senses. We got a good few players out with him as well. Carrera was a great player for us, and how he left, he didn't deserve the treatment that he did get at the club. And basically with fucking Van Gaal then being axed and Mourinho coming in, the fans were actually screaming out for him before he was even appointed.
What did you think personally on disappointment? Like, when you heard the news about it might be Mourinho,
I was absolutely shaking when I was saying that. Reason being, I always loved Mourinho.
Genius.
He's just an absolute shit house master. Like, literally, he's crazy and
doesn't care about nothing.
You see, like, the negativity that's based around Mourinho, even before he joined United, you just thought that was a match made in heaven.
From.
Do you know what I mean?
Part of us came from Mourinho's style.
Match made in heaven, we all thought.
Mourinho came out and said that finishing second with United and winning the Europa League at the time is still his best achievement. And do you believe that? Because looking at it now, it kind of makes sense.
Bro, it makes sense. And look at the dressing room he had to deal with, the toxic players, the dead wood. You have Phil Jones making all these faces and just putting the club into the decline.
Every single week.
The whole club was a fucking meme, and that man getting us to second place was better than him winning the Champions League with Real. I don't know how he done it, bro. Yeah, honestly, like, how he got us in the second place and winning the fucking title is beyond me. But yeah, he was like breaking all these records, and they were all negative records as well. And don't get me wrong, he brought in a good few players. Like, you have your Eric Boy and all, but he's injury prone, do you know what I mean? He was a great prospect and young as well, he still is fucking young now. Bringing in Ibra was the only reason. Look, Ibra only came because he was there, do you know what I mean? He loves Mourinho, and a lot of players now still fucking love him and love his way of playing. It's like, I think this generation of footballers, they're just snowflakes, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't think they can handle the type of manager Mourinho is.
Exactly, and as well as that, United is the type of club that thrive on academy players, you know what I mean? Mourinho is a manager who wants men in his team, you know what I mean? He doesn't want boys, he wants hard-headed men, fighters, warriors.
That's what he is.
But yeah, look, you even see where Rose, you done an interview with him, and Rose was giving it to him, like saying, why the fuck are you playing me? Like, you have all these players that are playing week in, week out, and here I am sitting on the bench and all. How in depth that programme goes, but it does show you a lot about Mourinho and the type of person and manager that he is. Like, obviously, it's just based around academy players and bringing players through, and we seen Rashford coming through with Van Gaal, but that was by mistake, do you know what I mean? Like, that came at a point where Martial was injured and Rashford had to step in, and thank fuck he did. Thank fuck that happened, because I don't know.
A hat-trick on his debut, and then a hat-trick on his England debut.
Yeah, and Europa League and what have you. Every single debut that he had, he scored.
Every competition he scored a hat-trick on his debut,
But with him as well, I just think the players in general, they just were like, he had not got the mentality that he needed, you know what I mean? And as you said, he plays defensive football, and it's not really the football that United play. Obviously, we thought there was going to be a big change. We were going to win things under him. Now, I do actually believe that if he was still the manager now, given time, given the right transfers that he actually wanted, we would actually be up there probably. The board, you see, the thing with the board and United is the board is just fucking toxic. Like, you have your average football team who have a fucking sporting director, you know what I mean, who goes out and meets all the players and what have you. Going back to the roots of United, you have Fergie and you have all Mullenstein now meeting the players in person and talking to them, sitting them down and what have you, talking about the history of the club and that.
Yeah, because Zaha had done an interview and he said he went, was it Bobby Charlton and Alex Ferguson? He walked into a big hotel room and you're walking into Bobby Charlton and Alex Ferguson.
You're walking in, bro, and seeing them, you're automatically saying,
give me the paper, I'll sign that.
And in this day and age, you have some bleeding baldy head just floating around with a briefcase, not knowing anything about football, handling everything got to do with transfers. Like, it does not make sense. And it's just, don't get me wrong, this is a club with all the money in the world, can sign anyone. But if you're a player that's being motivated by this transfer and sitting down with some fella that hasn't got a clue what he's talking about, you're just gonna go for the other.
There's no attraction there.
You know what I mean? And the only reason why we got the likes of fucking Zlatan and Pogba was Mourinho. Mourinho hadn't been there and it would have been David Moyes. They were saying no. You know what I mean? Who's gonna pay for him? Do you know what I mean? But now don't get me wrong, we have progressed in the last season or so. There has been a major decline and just so much dead wood behind closed doors. Like, don't get me wrong, the only person that has actually came in now and got rid of them players was Ollie. Ollie came in and he came in with a bleeding.
He knew what to do. He knew what to do.
Violence, bro. That's why he came in. Knowing that he was going to get rid of this player and that player. But reason being, because this is not lifelong. Obviously, he played for us years ago. He won the treble. He won so many trophies on the United. He bleeds this club. Do you know what I mean? So he's watching the team day in, day out, regardless of him being the manager, like, you know what I mean? So there's a drastic difference with Ollie and fucking Mourinho. Like, Ollie is all for the youth. He knows the philosophy of United and how we play and what the club wants from the players, you know what I mean? The passion, because like, we always just saw the players walking around on the pitch. They never even fucking attempt to run, and even if they did, they just run and stop. You still see that now.
Pogba is probably the same.
Prime example. The two of them behind closed doors were fucking always going at each other's heads. You know what I mean? There was videos coming from fucking people hiding in the Carrington training ground and fucking videoing Pogba and Mourinho giving hell to each other basically, and you heard every word of it. You know what I mean? That's not good for a United fan looking in on that from the outside. Because obviously they're saying, look, it's toxic there, it's toxic everywhere else, you know what I mean? The fucking staff and all. Like,
how is that going to go onto the field?
Exactly,
then, you know
you're not building a bleeding team, you're not building a team with
a family.
Yeah, exactly, that's
family.
it.
Like, Jurgen Klopp's a great example of that. I don't want to go too much into Liverpool, but Jurgen Klopp's a great example of that. They were all brought together. And it's not a team of world-class players.
Exactly,
We can say that too, but
that's it.
look at what they've done as a group, because it's a tight-knit group.
If you're not together, you're lost there and then.
It's a team game at the end of the day. Like, Pogba came in as a world-class player, 80 million slapped on him, and he thought, I'm bigger than the club.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Don't get me wrong.
Toxic.
He's this type of player. He's always happy. You see him putting on these Instagram videos, always smiling, dancing. But obviously that had a negative effect on other fans looking in and saying, "Look at his age. It's playing dancing in the dressing room. And they're getting slaughtered on the pitch and all." But like, under Ollie, we've just progressed so much, and he got rid of the dead wood, like the likes of Ashley Young and Lukaku and all. He didn't say what style of play. Don't get me wrong, world class player, but he just isn't the United player.
And what's the United way of playing?
Bro, it's just fucking attack. It's counter attack. You know what I mean? Free flowing play. If you can expressing yourself on the ball, you know what I mean? And that's the way we've always done it under Fergie. We are fucking very successful for almost 2 decades, as you know, fucking winning year in, year out, winning 3 times in a row on the fucking trot, you know what I mean? Winning titles here and there, and basically when he left, that just left us in such a bad old spot. Look, we never thought that we were ever going to see that again. Now, I think that we're still a long way off ever being that successful. Obviously, now don't get me wrong, there's fans out there who still are calling for Ollie's head, and I don't know how. Bro, because the fucking difference in our football, even with transfers, right? We get 5 players, one out of them 5 players under any other manager would do well, and the others would be fucking a waste of money. Do you know what I mean? Whereas under Ollie, every single signing that he's had to get so far is had to contribute. Like even with Dan James, like he done all right at the start of the last season, and he just went downhill, obviously. But that's a lot to do with behind closed doors and his family and all, like, you know what I mean, all that type of stuff. And then seeing him now, seeing the confidence in him now and how well he's doing, you know, the little things that he's learning and training and all, like, that's starting to pay off. So as we're, like, I used to look at United training on YouTube all the time, nearly every day. Under the other managers, never a smile on their face, bro, always sour. Every single one of them always sour, and looking at them now, they're all smiling, you know what I mean? It looks like this is the first time since Fergie that I'm at the same group of players who are actually together, and bringing in Bruno obviously just sparked that mentality, like the winning mentality. He's the only player in that team that has that burning desire to win, you know what I mean? And he's making very mediocre players look, not, I wouldn't say world class, but like good, you know what I mean? They're performing out of the skin almost. Like you have Shaw, for example, who has been playing piss poor under every other manager, and now all
but you're gonna be playing that when Mourinho's saying you need to lose weight, you know what I mean? Like when your manager's coming out in the media and saying he needs to lose weight if he's gonna play for
exactly,
that's gonna, whether you're on hundreds of grand a week or not, that's gonna have a major effect on you.
See with Mourinho as well, bro, right? We'd have a game and he'd speak after the game, we'd lose. He'd blame the players, you know what I mean? He wouldn't say, "Oh no, I'm the manager, this is down to me, I got it wrong," do you know what I mean? Whereas you see now, Ollie, he just protects the players regardless of what's said.
That's always been the way with United.
Exactly, that's what you do.
It's always been the way with United, like, protect your players.
You've seen him, he needs to be axed straight away. When Sanchez is out on loan now, obviously we're paying some of his wages, but he can't ever step foot into that training ground whatsoever. Again, like, Ashley Young, he's on loan, I'm sure. He's probably thinking that he's going to come back. Yeah. No chance for him either. I hope he just stays where he is, and the same with Sanchez, which I reckon he will do, because Ollie isn't that
450 grand a week.
What the fuck, like, honest to God. But at the time, bro, you're looking at a player who's playing
special
peak form.
But do you know who's another great example of that? Eden Hazard. Playing for Chelsea, he was unplayable. Like, I had arguments in the past where I'd be saying Mane was the best left winger and Hazard was in the league, and I believe that. Obviously, it's one of my players I'll back up, but I did believe at the time he was a better player than Hazard. And Hazard went to Madrid and he showed up to pre-season training with a belly, and he's a professional footballer who's had to get in the move of his career. That's unprofessional in every sense of the word. And then you think Sanchez, another example of that, he's coming to United, he has this big wages, he's got him for free, didn't he?
Yeah.
He's got him for free, so that's why he's getting paid that way. You think Sparks,
and we were laughing,
this is going to be fucking brilliant.
Laughing. Now Yeah, we're all the dead wood, like, and how things are going now. The progress, we are saying progress, reason being, like we're saying, attacking football. Don't get me wrong, we're not fucking consistent week in, week out, but we do show.
That's
we
where
do show
I
a lot
think
of patches.
United have the problem.
Yeah,
Is
no.
the consistency.
The reason being for that inconsistency is that we're not the full fucking shilling yet. You know what I mean? We still
Look,
have.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. When United were playing the way they were playing, remember when they went on that mad away run and all the desire from the players.
Yeah,
yes,
that way the game still stands.
Everyone jumping on. No, yeah, but just haven't been consistent at home, but jumping on each other. When boy made that last minute block and everybody went on a mad one. I'm saying to myself, are we gonna win this? You're winning the league title. You know what I mean? And now it's just gone.
Yeah.
Just like that.
See, I never, like, going into this season, I just said top 4 and that's it then next season, because obviously we were supposed to sign Sancho and that didn't happen, and there was a lot of negativity that sparked from that not happening, and we were all just waiting on deadline day. Like, what the fuck is going to happen? Nothing happens. Then you see in January Bruno coming in, and the fucking goals he's had to contribute to that team is unbelievable.
It's undeniable. Like, so we can all admit that. There's no shame in saying that. He's proved it all to every last one of us.
Yeah. Now I've seen
the chap is special. Yeah. He's special.
When we signed him, like, I've seen Scholes talk on Sky Sports and saying, look, not one player cannot change the team. That's impossible. Bro, he is at the lift of that team.
Everything
shows, you know what I mean? Which is crazy coming from one individual, like. But the thing is, we need to build on that. Like, we need another world-class player.
I just want to ask you a question on that. Have you ever seen a player come to the Premier League and have that effect on the team ever in the past?
My age, don't get me wrong.
Obviously in your age, I don't mean in the past. Like, you had loads of
Cantona and all.
Before
us, it's being compared to Cantona, but I still wouldn't compare him to that, because Cantona, like, won the title with us. You know what I mean? He changed everything for us.
Where do you think Solskjaer has got his tactics right in crucial moments, let's just say?
Compared to other managers playing against the top 6 teams in the league, like, you see the record that you had against even Pep, like, beating him back to back and all, you know what I mean? Like, we haven't seen that. Like, United was a team that always played decent against the top 6 and played absolutely shocking against the small teams. Like, so when we're playing the smaller teams, he is more or less getting it right, more so than what he is getting wrong, you know what I mean? And before a big game, you see players now that are going in and actually playing the way they're supposed to be, the way that we want to play, you know what I mean? So the opening game of last season is against Chelsea, when Rashford scored that free kick, like, from fucking miles out. I think that just basically just set the tone, and we've seen from then, it's just, he is having these few tactical masterclasses. Now don't get me wrong, this is a fella that got fucking relegated with Cardiff, and he had an abysmal career for the most part. We have a few little perks in that, bro. He has Haaland in the bag.
His agent is
Raiola. We all know.
So do you reckon the club's going to deal with him again after the saga with Pogba? Because he came out in the press and said Pogba's finished at United when he was actually not playing bad at the time. Yeah,
and I want to get into that as well. Like, you have a player, will he ever deal with United again, Raiola? The reason being why I think that he will is because money. He's just a money merchant, and obviously he knows that United is going to pay this and pay that, and him having Haaland as a fucking like him being his client, like, obviously if the next club that he goes to, good luck, that's all I'm going to say, because that fella is just a full package in there. Look, did you see the picture?
Do you want him at United, like, as a United fan, because this is about the two of us here in this video, and United and Liverpool. Now we'll get into the Liverpool and United rivalry and stuff like that, but you, as a United fan, do you want Haaland at United, knowing full well what this I won't say about his agent. I won't call him what I was going to call him. But do you want?
I would. I'd take Raiola again for him. Definitely.
I just wanted to ask, because you know full well the effects that Raiola himself can have on this club, or any club for that.
Exactly.
It's a nuisance. It does what he wants, basically. You know what I mean? And you don't expect that from any agent. Like, I think Raiola is the only one that pops into mind for everybody when I speak about that, when someone brings up agents. Raiola
straight away. And the players that he does actually have as clients, it's fucking crazy. Like,
it's mental. The best Zlatan and all.
Zlatan, everybody. Like, you know what I mean? He's fucking flying along the years, but don't get me wrong.
I know, obviously he has to be one of the best agents in the world, of course. We can't, well, not denying his talent, but just saying what he has done at
Yeah.
United, because this is a United episode, so we're just explaining on that. So
we take him all day, bro. And I don't know if you seen the picture of him there the other day when you were playing in the league. Just saw it lining up. You seen all the players standing with their hand behind their back and all. This fella is standing there ready to fucking go, ready for war. Like, so that's the type of player that we need, obviously. Like,
and where do you think the club can go from here?
what I think needs to happen is that we definitely need a right winger, and Sancho is the obvious person that we need in that spot. And if we get him or not, we don't know. If they're still interested, I don't know. But obviously, if they do go from the price drop, it's going to be crazy. I think they're looking at about 60 million getting them now. But obviously, we need that right winger, and we need a world-class centre-back along with Maguire. Look, you look at Maguire, he's at the playing every minute of the season for United so far. You look at Lindelof, he's carrying a back injury for I don't know how long now. You look at Boy, he's injury prone, he never lasts more than fucking 4 games or something. But if we could get him going, obviously that would be
the quality player.
The ideal partnership, him and Maguire. But we just obviously don't see that happening, so we need to strengthen there. And obviously the striker position, now that you see fucking Martial just walking about on the pitch, obviously you see Cavani, he's not a long term.
No, definitely.
He's not a long term
player. He's unbelievable player.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. But we obviously Haaland is being spoken about, but God knows where he's gonna go after, whether he's gonna go to La Liga, whether he's gonna go to another team in fucking in the Premier League. But we're saying that Raiola said there the other day or yesterday or something that only 4 teams can afford, 10 teams can only afford Haaland, and 4 of them are in the Premier League. So who's the aim of that there? Obviously you'd have United, City,
Chelsea.
Probably Chelsea, yeah, obviously with Abramovich. Yeah, I don't know who else he's mentioned there. Who's the 4th team?
No, I'm not even going to say Liverpool, because
no.
It's not, as I said, we're going to make this mostly United, but I'm not saying Liverpool don't have the money. Like, we went from a 200 million worth of a club up to 2.5 billion.
Exactly.
Now, and the likes of LeBron James and all has shares in Liverpool and all this. So where is the money? Like, surely to God, you don't only have $1.5 million to sign 2 centre halves when you really need it. Do you know what I mean? Exactly, and everyone is saying, what if they're holding out for the summer to splash? Do you really, looking at the last 2 windows, do you really think you're a United fan, Liverpool is going to spend over 100 million this summer?
No hope, bro, and I just can't see that happening. I say to you all the time, that's your only downfall, is the money spending in crucial moments. Now this is a similar thing with United. Obviously we have the money there, they always look to drag a deal out and get it for the cheapest price, but obviously with United they always add bleeding 60 million or so onto the blade transfer.
Yeah, as
anybody.
we said
we're kind of in a similar boat there, because something needs to change within both clubs. We need to keep spending right, and like your man Ed Woodward, he needs to go obviously, and it's just the players that we do get now, obviously it's working. We need to keep that going. We need another 3 or 4, some would even say 5 or 6 fucking crucial players in there, do you know what I mean, to add that bit of depth. We obviously need that depth, and if we don't, coming into the next transfer window now in the summer, if we do not splash out and get world class signings, and City manage to obviously spend more,
they're looking at another domination, and it's silly at this stage, you know what I mean? Sit there, and there's just a couple of more topics we're going to touch on before we end this, because we don't want to bore you with our shit. So we're just gonna, I want to ask you 2 more questions to finish this off, brother. Your opinion on VAR?
Thing as well, they're giving these decisions now that if you're a defender and you try and not make contact and the player goes down, it gets given as a penalty. But if you make contact and it's not intentional, it doesn't. It's fucking weird. Like, honestly, God, the rules that you have is
mind blowing. How? Oh my God, I don't understand. I'm telling you now, I'd say 100% of the people that have watched this video that end up making it to the VAR stuff are the exact same as me and you, and just clueless on every single rule that's going on at the minute, because I haven't got a breeze.
Look at the David Luiz for a prime example. Like, he's chasing back an attacker, and obviously it doesn't look like he touched him. He tries to stay out of the way, and because of the fact that he tried not to touch him, he got the penalty given against him. So there's.
And even, do you know what baffles me sometimes, when, do you know the way they always have a ref in the studio now with Monday Night Football, and some of the stuff they even come out with, like, you're lying to yourself, let alone everybody watching. Some of the referees is just talking nothing but bollocks, and you're like, you don't believe that, and you're just making this up to back up a fellow referee, and it's we could do everybody. We're gonna do our little prediction to where this is gonna finish. It's a good way to finish our first episode on this, and I'm sure you'll see Taylor again anyway. So we're just gonna finish on the prediction of the top four. And I don't think we need to do a prediction on the champions because we both agree that City is going to run away with it. So we'll just, what do you make of who's going to be in there? And do you know what? Just because we won't do champions, we'll do European spots as well. So that'll include Europa League.
I think obviously City are going to win it. I reckon that United will take second.
I agree with you. So I'll just say if I agree with you or not, because if it's the exact same as mine, there's no point in me telling mine, you know.
As for third and fourth, you see West Ham up there now. You see Tuchel has taken over Chelsea. They're in a good.
They're hard to score against.
I think Chelsea will take the third spot. As for the fourth, I don't know. We see everything coming into it now, and they're actually playing great under Ancelotti. Like that was a godsend for them, and the way they're getting the new stadium and all, they're actually building a good fucking future for that club and that. But for the fourth spot, I could not fucking tell you in the slightest who the fuck's going to end up there, bro. I do think probably Liverpool, let's say, would take that fourth spot.
I was going to say us, but that's just me being biased because everything that's going on now, we might not have Alisson for the next couple of games because of what he's going through and the way Jurgen Klopp has had to go through a lot of personal things. And you talk about the injuries. I'd like to think we'll get top four, but honestly, bro, I'm not going to lie to you. I just think this season is an absolute write-off, and if we don't get European football, then I don't know what happens next, you know.
The way we say it now, bro, back then when I was saying to you, we never expected Liverpool to have to drop
it. Of course, that's what I'm saying though, everything just changes like that, you know what I mean?
And as well as that, they're going looking at my cousin and all our friends and they're posting this mad things and like all.
So you want to do it back, so I'm saying, but I'm just glad that you're able to see it now when if you were in my shoes. And your rival is doing crap, and because all I've seen for years, bro, and this is why I wanted to bring it up. I wasn't going to put you on the spot in any way, shape or form, but just wanted to bring that up because it always counteracts each other. But there was where I was taking it for years upon years upon years, and then when once United was shit, I looked at it kind of not as revenge, but like I'm gonna get these.
And rightfully so,
and
bro.
Of course, and now I'm glad you can actually see it now in a way where now that we're shit. And you haven't stopped yourself, you can just see it's obviously for a laugh, and when the other team's doing shit, it's all excellent. So you know when I was saying, oh, will you give it up, because at the time I actually wasn't posting much, so that's why I was getting all angry about it. But it's nice to see now that the tables have turned and you can understand where I was coming from. When the other team is shit, you're just constantly boom, 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 boom. But I had a question on here that I didn't get to ask you, brother, and I want to ask you this: do you reckon, or do you think that the rivalry between Liverpool and United is kind of embarrassing?
I don't think it's embarrassing, reason being.
Like, it's obviously, we enjoy it. But obviously we're going into a reason there.
I don't think it's embarrassing, reason being the fact that they're the two biggest clubs in England.
Of course, the rivalry is going to be there.
No other club in the country comes and close in the slightest, and obviously like you're growing up and a lot of people around you are Liverpool fans, a lot of people around you are United fans, and that we just kind of bounce off each other. Everybody always takes it as a laugh, but obviously sometimes you can take it a bit
serious, too far sometimes.
Well, so we live in a day and age, bro, where there's people that like literally dedicate. Now, don't get me wrong, I fucking love football.
I eat, sleep, and breathe football at this club, and hence this YouTube channel, bro, is for the. Stacey doesn't like football, and she tell you that herself. She watches football and she enjoys watching Liverpool when we're playing, but she's not a die-hard fan. So when I'm talking all the shit I want to get off my chest, it's going in one ear and out the other. So my whole reason to make this channel, and I said it before, was to give myself somewhere to express my opinions and my views, and when I need to express something like, say, anger about something that's happening, I can just jump on my camera now and upload it to YouTube, and people might not listen to it, but I'm still putting out there, and one of the boys might listen to it, and we might get a conversation about it, and I was able to express myself in every way I wanted to. So that was the whole reason behind the YouTube, do you know what I mean? But I just asked that question in terms of embarrassing is, do you think that I don't mean like the rivalry is embarrassing, because the rivalry is always going to be there, and like yourself and like myself, and hopefully one day we get the reaction to a Liverpool United game live. But I just, obviously me and you will always have the debates, we'll always have the jokes, we'll always slag each other, and that's never going to end, and I never wanted to end because I fucking love that about football. But I just mean embarrassing in terms of United fans are so hell bent, and same goes for Liverpool fans. I don't just like mean to put it on United fans. Same goes to of getting one over on the other. That's kind of at an embarrassing stage now. Like, I'm not talking about me and you personally and our personal friends, but I mean the fan base as a whole is so focused on being better than the other that it is a bit embarrassing. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't mean the whole rivalry as a whole or anything like that is embarrassing. I just mean in terms of Liverpool fans and United fans now are so hell bent on getting one over on the other that it is kind of at a stage where it's embarrassing. Do you know what I mean?
Katie tagged me in this show there not long ago, and it's like it was a thing saying like that football controls your mood. Like, say if I'm in a great humour, we get to 8 o'clock or something, have a kick off, and I'm in the height of it, and that's gonna obviously last until the next time we play. Like, with United and Liverpool, obviously you can look at it, and it's not obviously just me and you on a personal level, but other people and other fan channels and all around the world, and it obviously you can't say there is some embarrassing things here and there, but
as a whole, I agree with you, but I thought that was a good thing to actually ask and see what you thought of it and express how you feel about that, because sometimes you look at some of the stuff and you're kind of like, nah, don't think about that, you know what I mean? I don't know what I think about that, and you're kind of like, that's embarrassing, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't mean the whole thing as a whole, but in terms of like some of the stuff you see where like randomers are playing, changing their profile picture to Alisson because he made a bad save, or he didn't make a save, and you're kind of like, you know.
One embarrassing thing there, and point out, I only seen it there for Dad who were going, it was a Liverpool fan complaining about the injuries that they do have, but a United fan was comparing our injuries that we had in the Europa League final was Latan Shaw, Ashley Young, and Boy. Like, you're comparing,
and still won a one game.
Final, but you're comparing the Europa League final to like having like obviously Blatant Zlatan is a world class player at that, but like Shaw at the time was fucking woeful.
Yeah, he was.
Ashley Young, woeful. Fucking Boy, he was injured and all out anyways. Look at the Liverpool side now and the players that they do have out injured. You have Van Dijk, you have Jota, Fabinho, Henderson's
out for the season now, Matip's out for the season. Joe Gomez is a big player, and while Joe Gomez is not there, Matip's a big player. So you're talking about not just some players, you're talking about Jota on the form of his life in a Liverpool shirt, Van Dijk, who's the heart and soul of this whole team, Henderson only recently now, but still unbelievable. Like, Thiago had COVID, Trent was out for 3 weeks, there's a few others that have been out. Salah was out for a couple of games, you had Mane out for 3 games, and now I know they're not a lot of games, but still you're missing big game players, and it's not just the odd game, it's like Van Dijk, Gomez and Matip and now Henderson are out for the season. You're 40 your best players. Jota has been out for nearly 3 months, who was at the time our best goal scorer on them current run of games. 10 games, or 10 goals, 7 games, or was it 10 games, 7 goals? It was one or the other, but he was on the form of his life, and then boom, and then he was played in a game that didn't even mean anything. We were playing Atalanta in the Champions League, and kind of like, did you actually have to play in there?
Yeah. Now, I do think in a sense that we're in the Europa League now. Obviously, you have Van de Beek and other players in the United squad who aren't getting a look in, and there's so much negativity in the media about that, like, Van de Beek not getting a chance, but here we have a game tonight now in the Europa League and he's injured and he's not getting his chance there obviously, but he will, like, eventually, obviously, if we go further. Well, we're 4-0 up tonight going to the second leg, and hopefully a few youngsters get a chance. But like, when you are in the, look, I'm not saying, I don't know why I'm saying that, but if you actually do end up in the Europa League next season, like, that's
We'll win it anyway.
You will get far enough, do you know what I mean? Like you get the odd good team that drops into that after.
Of course. But like, we're talking about a team here that went to back-to-back Champions League finals and 97, 96 points in 2 Premier League seasons with the full squad. So you're talking about going into the Europa League with that squad. You kind of... You'd like to think we're going to walk that, you know what I mean?
And the same
not that I want to win it and think it's a good team, I'm just saying.
Like, even us now, we're getting close, but obviously you still have Tottenham there. They won 4-0 last night, and United and Tottenham, it's a bit of a dodgy fixture. Like, obviously we got hammered 6-1 by the Cunts, but like, we're not certain. I think United are more or less using that. Well, obviously you want the trophies, but they're more or less using that now as a little scapegoat to play players that wouldn't get in the tunnel. Do you know what I mean?
Of course, yeah. So it's a good thing in a sense. I really enjoyed that, boys and girls. This is gonna be a long L video. I enjoyed that little session there. We got there in the end. We got everything we wanted to speak about off our mind. I hope you enjoy and please listen to the whole start of this video where Taylor spoke about something that he's had to deal with his whole life. It's a brilliant story. My ears were peeled listening to every single word he was saying, because even as a lifelong friend of his, I didn't understand the extent of his condition. So I hope that this video can spread awareness on that. I hope you'd enjoy it. The long video about United in general, but we spoke a little bit about Liverpool too. You're going to see Taylor again. This was episode 1. We made it a long one. We made it a good one. I hope you enjoy. Peace out.
Peace out.